Thank you, Stephen. Well, world-famous artist who is known for his massive sculptures made out of Legos digitally drew each of the victims of the Robb Elementary school shooting by hand in just 1 week's time.
Sean Kinney, the artist who once lived in Austin and now lives in Amsterdam, started drawing these portraits the day after the deadly shooting.
That's right. Sarah Costa spoke with that artist, and she joins us now with what he hopes to the public, especially in the community of Uvalde, they can take away from these digital works of art. Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Steph. So Sean Kinney, he's a worldwide famous artist. You know, he's known for these larger than life sculptures, usually using Legos as his medium, and canvas prints of all of these portraits have been delivered to all of the families in Uvalde, which was all by chance after the portraits went viral and the families began to contact him asking how to buy them. So he gladly donated each of the canvas prints to the families. Each portrait took 2 to 3 hours to digitally create. He says he was making 2 to 3 a day and finished in a week. After he learned about the shooting, he was so hopeless and upset. He says the next day he sat down and started to create them as an emotional release. He now hopes his expression can help others.
I hope that by looking at these portraits, people can really see these kids for who they were and the exciting and lovable people that they were. It's easy when we get caught up in the national conversation about all this to sort of, turn these things into numbers and statistics. And these were real lives. And I hope that by looking at these really big, bold portraits of these children, you can really see them for the vibrant kids that they were.
So remembering the victims and who they were is most important to Kenny. Kenny says right now the portraits are just digital Lego renderings and that he hasn't decided if he and his team will build these with Legos. If they decided to do so, it would take a quarter million Lego bricks and about 6 months to build all 20 of them. And he wants to remain respectful to the families in the community of Uvalde and isn't sure if he will end up building them out with Legos, but right now he just wants to give them time and space for healing.
Understandable.
It was so interesting, his conversation, because he was just like, I just did this. I didn't realize these families were going to reach out to me. And when it went viral, he was like, getting phone calls from these families. Is like, no, there's no way you're gonna pay for these. He didn't.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah. He's like, I'll take care of it. And even though he lives in Amsterdam, he's lived there for the last 2 years.
Right.
He spent most of his life in New York. He's a very famous artist, had a studio there with his team in New York. But he says, he had a personal connection. He lived in Austin as an artist. His wife has family here in Texas, so he was like, I have people in Texas that can help get you these portraits.
Help get them. Yeah.
I know some of the victims actually had these portraits at their funerals as well.
Wow.
I'm not surprised at all. So there's definitely some connective tissue there, plus that urgent need for folks just about everywhere that want to do something, and this was his way.
His way of reaching out.
All right, Sarah Costa, thank you.
Thanks, guys.